Hello everybody, my name is Shortline614 and welcome back to I think this is 21st episode of Shortline Space Program. In the last episode, we brought this crew up to Columbia Station and they'll be heading out to Challenger Station in a bit. However, with the release of, I think this is Kerbal Space Program 1.11, I forget the version. I've been playing this game for way too long, so I should probably remember that. They added a new inventory system and the ability to actually do space construction in space. So I decided to go ahead and I decided to take Maddo out here and do some EVA construction. The first thing I need to do is I didn't actually realize this until right now. There's a little port and then there's a little bit of SAS that we're gonna put on. We're gonna need to bring this out to the station out there, Challenger Station, because that's going on the lander because the lander doesn't actually have any SAS. So I ended up figuring it out. This entire first segment is just me trying to figure out how to actually do stuff with the construction tools. Because while I have done it on the ground, I haven't actually done it in space before. And there's Maddo, right in front of Kerbin. Here's backing up the beauty of the station. That could have been the thumbnail. There's been multiple photos that could have been the thumbnail for this episode. So, I'm not the best at EVAing, because normally I don't EVA in space all that much. I end up putting my parachute away because I don't really need it, but I do continue needing my jetpack. And the first thing I need to do is, well, on the nuclear refueling module, as you can see, there's two flags, and those flags are the incorrect ones. So, in the future, I will be sending up the correct type of the Shortline Space Program flag. And I just wanted to see, oh, I can take those off, oh, I can put those away, trying not to hit the solar panel. And, using a lot of moving the camera around a lot, because as I said, I'm not the best at EVAing. And, anyways, I go ahead and I fly towards, I guess that bottom segment and I slowly try to make my way back towards the actual crew segment of the station. So obviously I get back in, and another thing that the reason why I keep going back into the station and exiting again is because for some reason I was afraid that my RCS would run out. So I put those back. That's fairly simple. And then I decided to go out and see what else I can do with this construction thing. My first idea was, well, the what's it called? The lander out at Challenger Station doesn't actually have enough RCS. It has very little RCS. So I thought I would be able to actually go and get a giant RCS container from there. So I realized that I wouldn't have been able to do that. So what I decided to do is, as you can see, I ended up moving one of the RCS containers on that crew transfer vehicle, and we will be butchering this crew transfer vehicle, mostly because, I don't know, it was convenient. I transferred the RCS out of it in hopes that, because, it would be lighter at this point. And, as you can see, it's kind of the RCS, little, fuel tank is kind of glitching inside the thing now. So I head back down there, and I take that RCS. I realize, it's still too big, empty. So I'm going to have to take them apart, weld it to another part of the craft, and then I'm going to have to slowly move it up to a place where I can eventually put it in the space bus. And I weld it to the space bus, and I'm finally able to put it in that, I think that hitchhiker, or that lander can, or whatever. And I'm like, well, I might as well send out, get another one at this point. So I go ahead, and I do the same with another fuel tank. And at this point, I obviously go ahead and I, put it in there. And then for some reason, because, this isn't a lesson about, why you should always, check, I decide, well, we're not going to be really using that service module for anything except deorbiting, so I can just go ahead. Well, I go back to the station first. And, well, to transfer the fuel tank over, and those flags over for whatever reason, I can go ahead and I can take the RCS modules off this, the CTV service module. And I go ahead and I do that in a moment. I think that's what I'm going to do right now. And I'm like, well, I need 4. I need all 4. Because apparently I thought something popped into my mind that there was unbalanced there was unbalanced RCS out at the out at one of the stations, and I accidentally misclick pick up 3, and then I accidentally take the engine off the CTV. So our CTV service module has no engine, and I can't put it in my inventory, so it's just going to go ahead. I have to abandon it. It just go ahead and it floats off, and that's just a piece of space debris now. Hoping it deorbits and it doesn't hit the station. So we've neutered our crew transfer vehicle. The poor Kerbals are gonna have to send up a new engine or find a way to deorbit without it. I guess we could use the remaining RCS or the engines on the module, but that's gonna be really interesting when we bring it back down. But that was my first attempt at a spacewalk like this, and I say it went pretty poorly. And I go ahead and I just transfer stuff to the space bus. Take a look at the engine right there. I try to, you know, fiddle around with cheats to get it to orbit, but it has no probe core, so I can't do anything. And I just decide, oh, I'm just gonna refuel the adapter, because what I'm gonna have to do is, if I don't send up another engine, I'm gonna have to use the engines on the CTV craft itself to deorbit this, which, oh god, we're not gonna come in anywhere near KSC. Anyways, I go ahead and I begin to refuel the space bus, and due to how the space bus is, this was I clipped a lot of, I will admit, with this design, I did clip a lot of modules into it, so it was kind of difficult to refuel. And, well, we are going to have to start to worry about the amount of liquid fuel that's still in the station. We're going to have to, I guess what I'm going to have to do in the future is I'm going to have to do send up a tanker. The tanker for the tug. Or maybe I'll just make that a separate craft, who really knows. I really don't know how that, because as I said earlier with the Nerva tug, I wanted like a tanker behind it that I can lug behind it, but now that I really think about that, I could just make it a separate craft and then just have it float nearby the station. Anyways, I go ahead and I rearrange stuff, and well, after a quick break from KSP, I come back, and well, it is time for us to actually go to send our crew out to Challenger Station of, I think that's Val, Bill, and Bob are heading out. The second flight of the space bus, hopefully it'll go better than the first. I activate the nerve engines to give us a little kick away from the station. Didn't really do much, though. And, well, I begin to set up our maneuver node. And, well, you know, making sure that, turns out I didn't fuel up the thing all the way, but it's fine. It's not exactly going to be off-center, hopefully. And it's space, because even if it was off-center, SAS could correct for it. And we begin our burn out to Minmus. And, well, 800 Delta V, pretty nice. The first time that Val, Bill, and Bob have, I think, gone beyond low Kerbal orbit. I think this is actually Val's first flight. Bob and Bill were on, I think, Expedition 1 for Columbia Station, but, well, they're heading out to, they're going to be heading out to Minmus in this episode. And, well, we're actually going to be landing on Minmus in the later part of this episode, but I didn't make that the thumbnail for, well, you're just going to have to wait and see. Thank God for quick saves is all I'm going to say right now. And, well, I don't make the, I didn't get a perfect trajectory. Excuse me. I didn't get a perfect trajectory. Wouldn't be an episode without me yawning. So I did have to do a small correction. Gonna take 11 days. In between this, I did go to the station. I did, do some ore flights down to the surface and back up. If anything else, it helps me perfect my rendezvous skills. we get into orbit, and of course we're coming in at the wrong way. But of course, Minmus orbits retrograde, I think. So I actually have to. Not much fuel up here. I actually have to go ahead and do the adjustment burn that I was so what's it called? Concerned about in the past, I guess, or maybe I didn't. Stop looking off. Anyways, we go ahead and we get ourselves an encounter with Challenger Station, and we go ahead and we get close. I actually didn't upload a Shortline Space Program episode last week because I was actually in Georgia at the time, so away from my computer and all the footage and whatnot. So so I couldn't do it. Well, I go ahead and I begin to fly towards the station again. Standard docking procedure. Julius and Munmo as the pilot and the engineer on the space bus, doing a beautiful job as normal. They've only ever done this once before. Go ahead. This was a relatively easy docking. I came at the exact right angle and all that, and well, that's all fine and good. Anyways, it is time to actually land on the surface of Minmus. In between that, I did do as I said, I did do a refueling flight down to Minmus, which, as you can see, if you look in the top right corner, the ore is going down and the liquid fuel and oxidizer is going up, which is good. And I go ahead and I use the brand new inventory system and transfer a bunch of stuff over. And then I go ahead and I transfer the proper crew over to their station. This is the most people have ever been on the station. I think there's, what, 8 people, 8 Kerbals on the station right now. And I go ahead and I pause the game because I had to walk off or do whatever. But I am actually recording this in a what I did is I actually uploaded the footage to my laptop and I took my microphone into this closet. So hopefully that should fix the permanent audio issues that I've been having, and hopefully it sounds a lot better. Of course, I'm an idiot and didn't realize that I had paused for that long, but I got something out of it, so it worked out in the end. And we go ahead and we undock. I do plan on putting the SAS module and the what's it called, the SAS down on the surface of Minmus. This actually does use some of the new parts, some of the new lights parts, which is nice. I'm actually thinking that what I should do is I should send up like a supply vehicle to like Columbia or Challenger Station, and then we can deck it out with like new flags and lights and whatnot. And maybe later, but not right now. Anyways, I go ahead and I begin my deorbiting burn. There's the station flying past, and it's a very unplanned and garbled up mess. It works. The station works fine. It just wasn't poorly. It was very poorly planned, and there's some of the issues with the solar panels, which is unfortunate. But obviously, we are going to go and land at Pathfinder Base. Pathfinder Base down there. It is waiting for us. I wanted to make sure Pathfinder Base is actually in the light before I landed. So I go ahead and I obviously begin my deorbit burn. It's slightly off-center from the equator, but we have enough delta V. The lack of SAS on this actually made it quite hard to actually go ahead and land this. And I also go ahead and rename it. It may not look like it because it's at like 3 or 4 times speed, but this episode is only like 16 minutes long. But it was actually quite hard to actually pinpoint this without using the SAS. And well, there's a station down there, the Ice Cream Highlands Pathfinder Base. Of course, it's waiting with a whole host of scientific experiments and surface deployment stuff that we can do. I do eventually want to expand out the space, and I do eventually want to make a rover, because a really heavy rover that can like fly around and whatnot. But that's still a bit far in the future. And well, we're coming in for our final approach. The 21 episodes in, we've only just landed a Kerbal on another celestial body, which Well, we took our time. I either rush or I take my time with this. I'm really inconsistent, but hopefully the new schedule, which I've already broken, should be better. And we've landed on the surface of Minmus. And another thing that I realized is I forgot to set the Shortline Space Program flag for this. So unfortunately, the flag is just going to be the normal flag. Valentina gets out. She walks down. I forget. I think I cut this to like normal speed. Yep, I think that's normal speed now. And she hits her head and flies across Kerbin. And, well, pretty happy. Anyways, I might as well start doing my outro. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think. Join my Discord server. I do streams on YouTube and Twitch. Well, actually, now just Twitch fairly often. Every Friday. And, well, let's just enjoy this moment. Bill gets out. You'll see why I'm doing the intro in a second. Bill gets out, and he begins to walk around, right? And I want to get all the Kerbals. He climbs on Val's head. He falls off. And, well, they all look pretty nice. Val begins to hop. And she comes back down, and... Oh. Well, that's no good.